We have a 13-foot high by 42-foot long wall that needs a logo and an illustration mural. So let's get it done. First, we got to get rid of those two abandoned vents and turn this wall into a mural. First, I knock out the vents, then I plug it up, put paper, wire, and then seal it watertight to prep for stucco. Next, I'm going to mix up some stucco mix, and it's going to take 3 coats. About 50% on the wall, about 50% on the ground. Then I give the whole thing a power wash bath and paint the wall a satin black. The 10-foot eye in the logo is the first to be pounce patterned onto the wall. Next is the 25-foot long rest of the logo, where I use the scroll method, where I secure both rolled ends to the middle and then just roll out the left side first and secure it, then go back and roll out the right side. Unfortunately, the wind was gusting that day, so it would be kind of calm for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just whip up, and unfortunately it ended up whipping the pattern right off the wall. Not only this left side, before I could anchor the bottom left corner, but also the right side after I unrolled it, as you'll soon see. So I had to start over and try to secure this paper pattern in between wind gusts as best I could. Typically, this is a great method when it's one person, but windy days it'd sure be nice to have an extra hand. It's a real bummer when you're 3 stories up in the air and this happens. Thinking I have it secure, I check all my measurements. That's the point where I should have probably secured it better. There's the gust, and bye-bye pattern. Once I finally got it locked in and pounced, got the reveal, that's always a good feeling. And here's the sub copy. Inovonics is a company that provides equipment for radio broadcasters. Time to paint. I chose to use exterior latex paint for the logo. I'm starting with a primer for the inside of the eye, which will be a finished coat of white. This is the awesome owner coming out to check on me, also asking me if I could put the address on that wall with the siding on it. And I, of course, said absolutely. Great guy. I'm applying this exterior red latex paint with a very, very heavy nap roller. It still took 3 coats because red's a pretty semi-translucent color. If there's no white or very little white in the pigment, chances are on a black background, you're going to need at least 3 coats. I'm cutting in all the edges with a 2-inch throwaway brush. They're the ones with the really super thick, heavy bristles on it. It's going to be all brush work for the subcopy. There's a lot less touch-up with latex paint than with one-shot lettering enamel, I find, just because of the viscosity of the paint differences. All right, let the fun begin. It's mural time. I'm using the black and gold Montana spray paint series to block out the redwood trees. I wasn't sure how well these would work as far as finished product. I just didn't know what to expect, especially on a black wall. Maybe if it was done on a white wall, then the black cut into the trees may have worked, but it was too translucent for this black wall, and I ended up moving to one-shot lettering enamels to do the finish work. The spray cans worked really good for the tree trunk. I really liked the way the tips were making redwood bark look almost realistic. It was really a fast way to do the tree trunk. Now it's one-shot lettering time, and I did the 4-tier method of colors for the branches. That is a dark green, a medium green, and then I made a custom light green with muted it slightly to make it not such a bright green, and then finally a highlight green. And I just worked dark to light forward. And here again, I'm using the bristle throwaway brushes to do all of this work. I have 4-inch, 3-inch, 2-inch, 1-inch. They do a great job creating tree branch texture. The spray cans did a great job making this grass. This was actually a lot of fun with all the special tips available. You could create almost any kind of line or texture, or in this case, daggers. It just really came out to a very sharp point at the end of each blade. And I did like a dark green or darkish green and then a lighter green. And then I did the same thing with this little kind of path or trail section of the mural where the quails are going to be sitting. And then I just switched out colors and switched out tips. Now the only drawback obviously of spray paint is that you're limited to color, like a crayon box. My box is different tips, and so that's kind of, well, it is what it is. There's a lot of colors, but if you want to kind of create a color that you're thinking, you're kind of limited in that way. You just use whatever you can. For example, this turned out way too golden yellow for land, so I abandoned that one, went back to more like a chestnut color. And then I'm going to put in a shadow for where the quails are going to be sitting. It's poppy time, and you're probably thinking, why is he doing a pattern for the poppies? Why don't you start painting them? I had a proportion in mind that I wanted to stay true to, and I wanted all these perspectives to be what I saw, what I envisioned. And so just doing a section of poppies to the scale I wanted them at was the best way to achieve that, I felt. And it also gave me a color reference. Pretty easy to do. It's just printing out some tiled pages from your printer and then pounce patterning just around the edges of the flowers. And that gave me just a location of all the poppies, so I don't have to get back and think, step back and look at it, keep doing that. At least I've got, almost half the poppies already pre-laid out. And I'm starting out with a chrome yellow, one-shot lettering enamel. I'm going to highlight with primrose yellow, and then I'm going to low light with orange. As I was painting and adding the orange and trying to do texturing, blending, I was realizing that it wasn't really going the direction I wanted it to go. Poppies are a very soft, almost glowing like flower, especially in the sun, and it was feeling too harsh. I could have backed off the orange to a softer orange color, but I realized that it really wasn't what I wanted. Now I'm adding all the leaves and some of the texture, little branches, vines, things like that, just to make it look interesting and add some more detail. I realized it was airbrush time, so the next day I loaded up my compressor and my airbrush equipment and decided to tackle the rest of what I was doing with the airbrush. And redwood trees have very deep bark systems, and so there's heavy shadows. So this is really where this helped a lot. And then for the poppies, I just painted over all of them and came back with the airbrush and did all the highlights and details. This works so much better as far as production, number one, and also getting that soft glow that I wanted, the softness of the poppy. And so I just did the same levels of color, started with the chrome yellow, highlighting with the airbrush primrose, then a medium orange, and then finally a darker orange for detail work. Then adding all the little details inside the flower. And then back to the spray can for more blades of grass for the foreground. And it was time to tackle the quails. Same system, pounce pattern, just the outlines. Now I can use that not only as a template, but I can set it off to the side for color reference. I just feel like this system for me makes a really good production tool. Now it's just mixing one-shot lettering enamel to the colors and contrasts that's going to work. I always start from the back and move forward, so I'm always overlapping. Next is the butterfly monarch, and I'm using the orange, and then I'm highlighting that orange with the chrome yellow. And I'm having to do this fairly quickly because it's very hot and this one shot is setting up very quickly, so I'm kind of putting just some of the color on and then highlighting it. I do the same technique with the black. I mix a charcoal gray as a highlight because I really like to add dimension. funny thing happened. At the end of this, you'll see that I forgot to put on the little white dots on the wings. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Maybe I was just thinking forward. And after this mural got done, I got home and I was sitting in my living room, looked out the deck and saw a monarch butterfly. And I looked at his wings and I said, oh no, I forgot the white dots. So I went back. I think he came to remind me. You can even see him right there on the reference picture. I don't know what happened. Time to wash off all of this pounce pattern dust and give this wall a final bath. Here's a little zoom out video of the project so far. And going back and adding the little white dots. And finally adding the address. And the completed project. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.